Community Link, presented by Financial Center First Credit Union.
Thank you for joining us for this week's Community Link. I'm Caroline Mays-Medley. Each year in the United States, 1 in 6 youth aged 6 to 17 experience a mental health disorder. 50% of all lifetime mental illness begins by age 14, and suicide is the second leading cause of death among young people aged 10 to 24. To tell us more is pediatric specialist Dr. Ann Osentoken. Welcome. So these are some startling statistics. Tell us what mental illness is in children and why are the stats so high?
Okay, so mental illness in children, these are conditions involving the changes in a child's emotions, their behavior, or at times it could be their thoughts as well. This can occur singly or in combination of the three. When this happens, this may affect the child's life. It could be immediately or it could be later on as they grow older. Common mental illnesses that we see are depression, anxiety, ADHD, which is with either hyperactivity or without hyperactivity. And we also have bipolar disorders as well. Substance abuse is also another example. Some of the children that are younger may have disorders of conduct or oppositional defiance.
What are some of the warning signs that a parent or guardian should look for a child who may be experiencing a mental health disorder?
Okay, it's going to depend on the mental health disorder. In the case of depression, what will happen is that for maybe about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, the child will experience sadness. They're staying in their room, they're not talking to family members. In the case of anxiety, what will happen is the child may have some unfounded fears, and founded forms of anxiety that they don't know where it's coming from. There may be school avoidance. There may be children that are not going to, maybe they're truants in school because they are either using substances. That could be also another reason. When it comes to ADHD, we have children that are irritable. They're not paying attention in class. They're failing their classes. A big warning sign would be dropping grades. So if a child is very smart and all of a sudden they start having, they were probably an A student, a B student, and they come home and they start having C's and D's, that may be an indication that there may be some depression going on. The biggest one for us is when a child starts to tell you that I'm actually having thoughts of harming myself, or they're actually attempted to commit suicide. And that is when we say to ourselves, this is actually probably a psychiatry emergency.
In our last 10 seconds, tell us what an adult should do or a parent or guardian should do if they see these warning signs.
As I stated, the warning signs are there. So we will, if you feel that your child is having any of these symptoms, you have to be aware, you have to be present, you have to engage in activities with your child. The biggest one we usually say is that have family meals together, talk to your child, knock on her room, find out what she's doing or who she's talking to. And then parental controls is also very helpful in the younger children as well. Engagement is the biggest thing that I believe that is the best, is that be engaged and be aware and also be very supportive and be the best person you can be as a champion to your child.
And if someone needs help right away, I would say call 211 or 911 if something has happened.
Yes, and then if you want to talk to your pediatrician, that's also another way of doing it. Your pediatrician will also direct you in the direction to go.
Great. Thank you, doctor. We appreciate it. For more information on when the 2020 tax season begins, here's Community Link's Gloria Jimenez.
The IRS announced the nation's tax season will start Friday, February 12th. That's the day the tax agency will begin accepting and processing 2020 tax year returns. People can begin filing their tax returns immediately with the tax software companies, including IRS Free File partners. The groups will accept tax returns now and then begin transmitting them to the IRS starting on February 12th. Generally, the IRS said 90% of filers would receive a refund within 21 days. That's if there are no issues with the return. For Community Link, I'm Gloria Jimenez.
Thank you so much for joining us today. This was your weekly Community Link. To share this segment or learn more, head to wishtv.com. We'll see you next week.